If you don't know it by now, we're planning on having a little fun tonight. Not everything will be funny, but we're going to have a little fun tonight, so hope you enjoy it. We're going to the movies and to the TV, the big screen and the little screen a little bit. And it's just going to be a delightful time of going back in time for those of us who are older and having memories brought back by music that we hear. It's a wonderful thing. So that first piece, of course, was Best of John Williams. Not necessarily the Best of John Williams anymore, because that arrangement was written quite a while ago. They've got to write the next best of John Williams. But he's one of the greatest film composers, of course. He wrote music for over 120 films. I looked this up. He won 27 Grammy Awards, 5 Academy Awards, and many other honors. Too long to list here. And that doesn't even scratch the surface of what he wrote, what we did there. You heard the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Did everyone recognize that one? The Olympic Fanfare, which has accompanied Olympic TV broadcasts since the 1980s when he wrote it for, I think it was the Los Angeles Olympics. And then some selections, of course, from Star Wars, including a lightsaber. So now we're going to go to the 50s, the 1950s. Now, I was not born yet. But growing up in the 60s and 70s, we heard a lot of the music from the 1950s, so I'm very familiar with it. So Rock Around the Clock was written by Bill Haley and his Comets, and they performed it, recorded it first in 1952, and it instantly makes people think of the 1950s. It became famous, not when they recorded it, but it became famous because it got used in a film called Blackboard Jungle. Anyone seen that? I don't know it. Oh, see, we had a few, good. 1955 film, and that's when it started to catch on. And then it was later used in American Graffiti, of course. Of course, my sister would know that. And it also was, I did not know this, was the original theme for Happy Days. Before they wrote the Happy Days theme, they used Rock Around the Clock. And so this handbell arrangement is based on a marching band arrangement by John Edmondson. So you're going to hear a special technique that only piece I've ever seen that uses this technique is this piece. And it's what's called a handbell smear. It's supposed to be like a trombone sliding between two chords. So we'll see if you can pick that up when it happens. They know how to rock those bells, don't they? Now we're going to stay in the 50s for a little bit, but very different song. This is from The Sound of Music. Do, re, mi. Doesn't sound like Rock Around the Clock at all, but they were written in the same decade. This was written by Rodgers and Hammerstein for their famous musical, The Sound of Music. And Maria sings this song, as you may remember, to the Von Trapp children, trying to teach them how to sing. Now, the history behind that is interesting. Some people thought that got invented in The Sound of Music, but do, re, mi, those syllables have been around for centuries. As a matter of fact, the technique of using these syllables started 1,000 years ago, in the 1020s, so like exactly 1,000 years ago from now. It was Guido of Arezzo, an Italian music theorist and teacher. He invented this system, later called solfege, and it originally was ut, re, mi, fa, sol. Ut, re, mi, fa, sol. But then later on it got changed to do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And that's how we're used to hearing it today. So here is do, re, mi. Can't help but smile when you hear that song, right? Just so happy. The prayer is a big change from the mood of that song, but this is a beautiful song, and it's a great example that of a song that became much more famous than the movie it was in. So it was first recorded in the 1990s in two separate versions, one by Celine Dion and one by Andrea Bocelli. They didn't sing it together at first. And they were both included in the soundtrack of an animated movie. Does anyone know what the movie was? Lion King. Nope. something from, and see, I told you, Sarah, no one's going to know this. It was one of her favorites. She was a 1990s show. It was one of her favorites. Quest for Camelot. Has anyone heard that one? They just went, oh, I should have known that. So it's a silly little animated movie, and it's hard to believe this beautiful song came from that movie. It's just crazy. And later, it became popular because Celine Dion and Andrea Bocelli then got together and did it as a duet, and it was on some of their albums, and then later they each sang it with other people too, and it took on a life of its own long after the movie had faded away, obviously because none of you knew the movie, right? Except for Sarah. So this is a beautiful arrangement, and I also want you pay attention to the choir chimes in this because we use full bass choir chimes here, and it's just a lovely sound. swear he wrote that piece with handbells in mind. It's just so perfect on the bells and the chimes. It's amazing. Now we are going to a Disney song, a Disney show, Pocahontas. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of Pocahontas. That's another 1990s animated film, but it became much more famous than Quest for Camelot. And the music from it is considered to be some of the best music written for Disney movies. This one in particular, Colors of the Wind, won a Grammy, an Academy Award, and a Golden Globe. Again, music written for an animated film. It's just crazy. But it was originally recorded by Judy Kuhn, who was the voice of Pocahontas. But here's where things get interesting. Vanessa Williams also recorded it, and her version was used in the closing credits of the film. And that is the recording that went on to be the most popular and became famous, not the Judy Kuhn version. But here's what's really interesting about that, not to name drop or anything, but I was a student at Syracuse University when Vanessa Williams was a student at Syracuse University. And my boyfriend was a musical theater major, not my husband, but another man. Don't worry, they were friends. And so when we were at Syracuse, I did a lot of accompanying. I was a keyboard major, piano and organ, so I did a lot of accompanying for musical theater students, and I accompanied Vanessa Williams. And she was, even then, like the most talented person in the program. She was incredible. But, you know, so they suggested I call her and invite her to come sing. No, we were not that close. She paid me, I accompanied her, that was about it. And went to some parties together, that was about it. But yeah, so it's wonderful to bring back memories for me when I hear her voice. But this is Colors of the Wind. course, you have to have, if it's a Disney song, you have to use the wind chimes, right? I mean, it's just all through those scores. Our next song is Shake It Off. We're going to have some fun with this one. And then we're going to take a break after this for intermission, and you can go refresh your popcorn and your water and just be like you're at the movies. And during the intermission, we will have some ushers that will come around and pass the plate around for donations. That's how we spread the joy of handbell music, is through your donations. None of us get paid to do this, but it costs money. We have music to buy and bells to take care of and new bells to buy. And this semester, we were able to buy a new aluminum handbell. That one. You want to go ring it? Go ring it. Go ring it. Landon, go ring it. That's our newest edition, B-flat 2. And that's due to your donations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's been used a lot in this program. The reason we bought that particular bell, when we planned the program, right after our Christmas program, we started planning the next program, and I looked at the music, and we had money to buy a bass bell, one bell, because they cost like $4,000. They're really expensive. So when we got to looking at the program, the most one we could use the most was the B-flat 2, so that's why we bought that one. And now we'll look for next fall, and we have enough money, we'll figure out what one do we need now. And eventually we'll get the whole octave, and it will be wonderful. But it's a slow process, of course. So we thank you for all your support that many of you have given us over the years. So Shake It Off was written by Taylor Swift as a reaction to the media, actually. The lyrics express her indifference to critics and their negative remarks. So you'll have to go back to listen to this song again with a different ear from that perspective, because it makes so much more sense when you know why she was writing it. And it's a great example of a song that became so famous that it got used in several movies and several shows. So the song existed first, and then it got used and used and used a lot. And it was in the animated musical Sing. That's, I think, the most famous one that it was in. But this is lots of fun. Shake It Off. We've got some helpers on this one. Some timers, yay!
baby. We shake, shake, shake.
I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift is going to sue us.
The name's Bell. The name's Bell. Handbell.
Oh, good, you came back. That's good. Thought once you had your popcorn, you might leave, right? So that was Spy Ring, which is a little medley of spy themes. One was Mission Impossible, which of course even we know now because it was originally from the 1960s, but everyone knows it by the movie now. And then James Bond, who James Matthew was playing James Bond, so it's very appropriate. And Peter Gunn, another one where Peter Gunn's not a show most people remember, but they sure remember the tune. Now we're gonna go back to a Disney movie, Lion King, a classic 1990s animated Disney movie. It was also later made into a colorful and creative Broadway musical. Did anyone ever see the stage musical? It's fantastic. You've got to see it if you never have. And this is the movie that taught all of us a very important lesson. Do you know the lesson? Yeah, Hakuna Matata, good job. It means no worries, right? Good job. Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata. I love audience sing-alongs. It's great. Thank you. I'm going to slow it down a little bit with this next piece, Ashokan Farewell. We've played this one before a few years ago. It's a beautiful piece. Most people think this tune is an American folk tune, but it's really not. It was actually written by a folk musician, Jay Unger, but it wasn't written until 1982, so fairly recently. The confusion is because Ken Burns took this tune and used it for his Civil War miniseries. And so everyone associates it with the Civil War. And it really does, it has nothing to do with the Civil War, but it does sound like it could have been written back then. The composer, Jay Unger, and his wife ran the Ashokan Music Camp, and that's where the name comes from. It was in upstate New York, and they wrote this song in the style of a Scottish lament. And he says it came out of a sense of loss and longing after the annual Ashokan music and dance camps ended for the summer. So that is why the title, Ashokan Farewell. But it's a beautiful, beautiful tune, and it will make you think of the 1800s when you hear it. We're going to kind of stay in the 1800s for now, because our next selection is a theme from a movie. Surprise, surprise. The Magnificent Seven. Has anyone ever seen that movie? Oh, good. A lot of people. Good, good, good. It was set in the Wild West in the late 1800s. And it was a classic Western starring some people who went on to be big names. Steve McQueen, Yul Brynner, Charles Bronson, James Coburn. It was quite a cast back in the day. The main theme song became very well known and was used on many TV shows and commercials. So even some of you who never saw the movie, you're going to recognize this music because it's in the background. It's one of these things that's entered our culture. They want something to sound like it's an old Western setting. They put this music behind it, including cigarette commercials. Exactly. I wear many hats. All the ringers right now are going, phew. That's one of the hardest pieces to play on bells. There's a little bit of a costume change going on here. We are no longer bell ringers. Arr. Arr. We are now pirates. Yes. We've been channeling pirates the whole semester, trying to get into this piece. It is wonderful. It's a lot of fun. Pirates of Penzance, Pirates of Penzance. I swear, all semester I've been calling it Pirates of Penzance, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's one more song from a Disney movie, obviously. And it's just so much fun to play. It's a little tricky on the bells, but it is really fun. We hope you really enjoyed this concert. I think you did. You've been laughing and having a great time. And we're grateful you decided to spend your evening with us, because we know you did us, and we really appreciate it. So keep an eye on our social media sites, Facebook, YouTube. We have a channel on YouTube. We have a Facebook page. We have a website, because we'll put up, when we're going to be doing another performance, we'll put it up there. And come on up after the program and chat with us. We love to share about our bells and our chimes. So we hope you enjoy Pirates of the Caribbean. I forgot to mention our new mascot up there. Yeah, I think he's going to stay with us. If there's any popcorn left, take it home with you.